Sticker time! Here's a new one from Retro Weld. Mike from Modern Builds. These two go together. Ashley Lozano Jewelry and At Ease Woodworks. How does the lighting look? I got two new LED panel lights. They're a lot smaller than my old light, and I hope they're a lot brighter, but I haven't tested them out until just now. But I can adjust the color balance on them, which is nice, and I'm trying to match them to my overhead lights. I'm not sure if it's a perfect match yet. I'll have to probably play with that. The wall might look bluish. First of all, a couple of shout outs on those stickers. I want to thank Lonnie and Ashley. Those are the two, At Ease Woodworks and Ashley Lozano Jewelry. Ashley makes jewelry, and she made these earrings for my wife because I mentioned one time that, you know, everybody sends me stuff but nobody sends Kathy anything, so those are really nice. And then she made me this pin. Very talented family. And I wanted to point out Modern Builds. That's Mike Montgomery, and he sent me this little flyer with some of his projects on it. Look, he's got the pallet wood Oklahoma. See, just like my pallet wood California. And he's got a couple of mid-century pieces, kind of like my credenza and my coffee table. I love those styles. Hey, I got a wedding invitation from Lee and Steve, or Leah and Steve, I'm not sure which it is, and that was really nice. They live out in Nazareth, Pennsylvania, and they're getting married in June. I don't think I'll be able to make it to the wedding, but you can rest assured you'll get a Woodworking for Mere Mortal sticker as a wedding present. They make Martin guitars in Nazareth, Pennsylvania, and so they sent me this little cutout from one of the sound holes on a guitar. Well, thanks again for the invitation and for watching the show, and you two crazy kids make a great couple. Things you can do with a laser cutter, check these out. These are from Olivier out in Switzerland. They're little cutouts he made, or a friend of his made, and there's like a cow, I don't know if you can see that, and like a farmer guy. Really neat, thanks. And I want to thank Dave Heiser, a local boy. He's up in Petaluma, not too far from me, just a little ways north, who sent me a new set of chisels. Thank you so much. He must have noticed that my chisels are kind of, well, I use them for a lot of different things. But I'm going to make sure I use these for woodworking. See what they look like. Fancy box. Ooh. Sorry, Dave. I think now I gotta sharpen them. They're okay. They have, the tips are covered up. I have new $10 and higher pledges on Patreon. I wanted to give some shout outs to, I think I forgot to mention you last month, or I may be repeating you, I don't know. John Lotshaw, Ariane McSee, she's the one who sent me the coffee from Brazil. Mohammed Al-Hamoud, Dave Pavelka, and Corby Shrummy. Thank you all for supporting me over there on Patreon. And don't forget, all of you $5 and higher patrons, go download your Music from Mere Mortals CD. It's not a CD, it's just a download of all the songs. Let's go back a couple of weeks. The gift card holders, everybody seems to really like that project, and I obviously haven't given these away yet. A couple of people asked me about this black palm because I mentioned that it was difficult to work with. It's kind of like grass in a way, maybe sort of bamboo-ish. It's all these threads in it just splinter out, and even just to hold the board, to touch it, it's splintery. But once I sanded it all down and finished it, it's nice. A few people mentioned that they just don't like the whole concept of giving gift cards, but I think it's a better alternative than just say giving somebody cash, because you just give somebody cash and realistically what happens? It just kind of gets absorbed into your bank account. Whereas a gift card, at least you're thinking of some place in particular, you know, maybe a Starbucks or maybe a restaurant the recipient likes to go to. So they're kind of forced to spend it on something that you want to give them. And giving it to them in one of these little things makes it just a little more special. I did have a few people tell me I was crazy to be out on Black Friday, but really that whole thing about, you know, riots and people going crazy on Black Friday is really overblown. I mean, really, it's like a plane crash. You only report on the plane crashes. You don't report on the safe landings. And my experience has been, it's just a normal shopping day. It's just busier, that's all it is. Had some good suggestions on yesterday's project, this modular truck. The first one, somebody suggested on these wheels, and when you roll them, they squeak, you know? Somebody said to put a plastic straw in there, and it would also reduce the friction, and then they wouldn't squeak. Had somebody suggest that to join these together, you know, it might be a good idea to put magnets on the trailer hitches and they could join together easily. That's a great idea too. That sort of reminds me of the Thomas the Tank Engine trains, you know, that would hook hooked together with magnets. Steve Carmichael mentioned making a cement mixer. You could turn it on a lathe and it'd be another add-on to this set. That sounds really cool. Did you guys see they announced the Super Bowl halftime performers? It's gonna be Coldplay. I don't know. I'm kind of meh about Coldplay. Coldplay is one of those bands that it's good and I enjoy their music, but I don't get fired up about Coldplay. I don't think it's gonna be as fun as Katy Perry and Left Shark was last year. Oh, and I saw the final Hunger Games movie last week. That was good. I think it was a good way to wrap up the whole series. Had a little bit of a twist there at the end. I kind of saw it coming. All in all, I think that's a good series. And this last film was better, I think, than the one before it, which was kind of a lot of exposition leading up to this big, huge final showdown. Last night we went out and saw Krampus. You know, that's the horror comedy Christmas movie. And I didn't go into it with high expectations, and well, those expectations were met. It's about what you would expect from a, mainstream PG-13 horror film. Pretty lightweight stuff. Without giving you any spoilers, I think the ending was a little bit of a cop-out. I wish the movie had been bold enough to just go for it. But I do like the idea of Christmas horror movies, because really the whole mythology of Santa Claus is kind of creepy in a way, this stranger coming into your chimney. Even though he's delivering presents, he's still a home invasion, right? The best one of these was Nightmare Before Christmas, of course, Silent Night, Deadly Night. But my new favorite Christmas movie is Grumpy Cat's Worst Christmas. It came out last year, and it's been sitting on our DVR for a year so I could watch it again this year. I don't know what it is about that movie. I think it's the funniest movie. Anyways, if you get a chance, see Grumpy Cat's Worst Christmas Ever. This Friday will be my last project video of the year, and then the following week, in the middle of the week, I'm gonna have a last minute gift buying guide for woodworkers, and I hope you'll enjoy that. And then that'll wrap it up for me for the rest of the year. I'll probably still shoot some mere minutes and maybe some other stuff. Have a great week. I'll see you later.